everybody. Good Saturday morning and welcome to our weekend edition of AM Buffalo. I'm your host, Courtney Corbetta. Well, if you're a regular viewer, you know we always start our show with a dozen of delicious Paula's Donuts. Craving a sweet this morning? Well, you can stop by any of their 3 locations around Western New York and they will have plenty for you. From breakfast sandwiches to specialty coffees and even bagels with all the fixins. Stop by Paula's and tell them that we sent you. And now let's change gears this morning. Hundreds of people are expected to gather at Beaver Island State Park to say no more to brain surgery. The goal is to raise awareness for hydrocephalus and to find a cure for the lifelong neurological condition. Now here to share her family's story is event volunteer Becky Goldberg and her son, Simon. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi
Thank
there.
you for having us.
Hi, Simon. You're on TV, buddy. He's like, what's this? What's this all about? Again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hydrocephalus is a chronic, life-threatening condition that can only be treated surgically.
Yes.
When did you find out your son was diagnosed with this condition?
We found out at our anatomy scan. So when everybody else finds out the gender of their baby, we found out that our little guy had this brain condition.
He's like, what's going on here? Simon, do you want to color? Come down here and color.
You want to go color? Go for it, buddy.
So at what age was Simon when you discovered this?
It was 18 weeks gestation, so I was pregnant at the time.
Oh, wow.
And it was during that ultrasound.
Talk to us about your day-to-day with Simon. What is that like?
So we're lucky enough that our day-to-day with him is pretty typical. That is not typical of this condition. There are some people who live very, very normal lives and others who have severe disabilities because of it. He has had gross motor delays. He did not start walking until he was over 2 years old. And he has, a little bit of a speech and a cognitive delay, but those are relatively mild compared to what some people are battling every day.
Now, there is no cure to this condition.
No.
The only thing that you can do is brain surgery, correct? So the goal is to find a cure, and that is what this walk is all about.
Yeah.
When is it?
So the walk is September 7th at Beaver Island State Park.
Okay.
It's a fantastic event where we have awesome activities for the children. We have a DJ, we have face painters, we have balloon animals, we have food, and then we cut the ribbon and take our walk. We have people who are walking in wheelchairs with walkers. And it's really, it's a short walk, but a very, very meaningful one.
Yeah, it makes a great impact. Now, from
Absolutely.
what I'm understanding, more than 300 families will be there who have been touched by hydrocephalus, and to know that you're going there and to have that support, that must mean so much to you and your family.
It is our 2nd year walking, and it's the 7th year of the event. And last year, stepping into the park that day was one of the best moments of my life. We had never met anybody that had hydrocephalus before that moment, and to just be welcomed, there was Simon, to be welcomed into that family was just incredible. And to know somebody who had gone through, watching their child be wheeled away to have brain surgery several times.
Now, this event is just so important to you and your family. What would you like to tell Western New Yorkers to get them out there to Beaver Island State Park so they can give back, right, Simon? So we can raise some money.
So the biggest thing that I think about when fundraising for this event is that hydrocephalus is fairly common in terms of rare diseases. It occurs almost as much as something like ALS or Alzheimer's, and yet the government funding for it is negligible in comparison to what those other conditions receive. And the research is moving forward. They, as just last year, are making really big strides in this. Most people with hydrocephalus have an internal piece of hardware called a shunt. And like your computer, like your phone, like your watch, any piece of hardware breaks down, and anytime there is something wrong with this internal hardware, it means another brain surgery.
Okay.
And so many of our walkers have had more brain surgeries than they've had birthdays.
And I think every little bit is going to count. That's why we are inviting everyone to meet us at Beaver Island State Park on September 7th for the Walk to End Hydrocephalus. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Simon,
thank you again for having
thank you, buddy.
us. Can you wave bye-bye?
Thanks for drawing me that picture. We'll see you right back after the break.